next questioner needs two clarifications. One is he asks if the need to love or be loved, whether this is coming from the ego.
If it is coming from the ego, it really is coming from God's ego. Because I say this because it is natural for us to love is our breath, it's our air. It makes life rich and diverse and beautiful. Love is peace. It's natural also. It's a natural response from a sentient expression to feel love and to enjoy feeling love and expressing love, you know. And perhaps the highest expression of love is the recognition of the unity of being. I would call it the highest expression of the love, as I know. But when one is searching for the truth and discovering who we really are, in a way you bypass this dualistic love. There's not this or that. And because love is known to us mostly through duality, like I love you, or I love this, or this person loves me, or I want this or something. And truth is beyond the this and the thatness in its purest form, you see. So I prefer to say that love in its highest expression is the unity of being. But even this sense of being, this sense of existence, you see, arises out of the absolute. And when I say the absolute, there's a tendency for us to place that as a kind of abstract space. But by absolute, it's something closer than intimacy. Before intimacy was born or created, the absolute is. And we are that absolute. And it is so pure, you cannot even say that it loves itself. I don't know. I don't want to make any tattoos out of what I'm speaking here. You know, because in another way, I can say something different from what I'm saying. My master also said, you know, beyond awareness, there's love. And it was beautiful. It touched me deeply, you know, to say this, because I could feel it. I could feel the power in those words, what it was pointing to. But it's not the love that the regular person is aware of, you see, to say the word love, you know. Why did all this come into being? Why did all of this play come into being? What's the play of duality and everything? Then he called it love. And I feel in agreement and an affinity with that. I can't explain this thing. And so, it depends really with this questioner. He's asking if love comes from the ego. I have to say it does, but ego, for me, ego is not necessarily a bad thing. You see, ego is the expression of being. Is a kind of ego, the ego of the absolute. Because the minute that the beingness felt itself, love was present. You see. And I don't find anything objectionable about this. It is love that brought us together. It is love that expresses through satsang and brings us to truth, you know, back to our own original self. But when we are identified mostly with the personal idea of self, then our love becomes almost selfish, a selfish expression quite often, or a self-centered expression. So I hope he's able to contemplate that and somehow see the beauty and the freedom in what I'm speaking. I don't want to encompass an idea about love. I want to set it free because it is freedom. And freedom and love, they're the same thing. And space, and joy, it's all the same. Peace is all the same. So, what I would want to say in the statement he made is love an expression of ego. I would want to say to him, you know, forget about ego. Huh? and then you can forget about love, but forget about ego first and enjoy some love. Enjoy the love without the idea or ego. Huh? And then by itself, something is beautiful. Maybe you're merged with this love. Or then you see that even love, in all of in its most glorious expression, is still perceived in that which has no face, has no time, has no description, has no quality. On every level, what I'm speaking to is about ourselves. Either ourself as the ego, which is an extension of ourself in time and space and projection and idea. Or you talk about the unity being, which is the way in which we experience existence and diversity, still remaining as a central sentience. And then I speak even beyond this thing, because that is also perceived in you. Then beyond this thing, there are no words to describe that unborn awareness. But it doesn't call itself awareness. It doesn't know the term or the concept awareness.
So you tell him to forget about ego, but his other question is also based on ego.
Okay. Well, he's not here, well, he will be when I'm speaking.
So he asks if seeking for liberation is also an ego manifestation.
Without this seeking for liberation, it just won't, the self doesn't see itself, I'm afraid. So it creates a method, a means, an attraction, an energy for its own self-reflection in all of this mighty universe, Because unless there is an urge inside for freedom, it just doesn't happen. It happens, we hear spontaneously some people coming into a recognition of that. But in a general sense, an urge is awakened inside us, a pull, an attraction to go beyond the surface of the mind, beyond the surface of the being, and to plunge more deeply. And life has already prepared for us a journey of revelation, to discover our true self. Even if you live by yourself on an island, the life has already placed you there and already prepared the experiences that's going to happen to you, because in those experiences, the self itself in that particular costume of being and body is the perfect opportunity to discover itself in that expression. And so everything is taken care of. Only if there's some arrogance inside our mind that, I believe, I think, and so on, this will build a wall of concepts around ourselves, and then you will just suffer a bit longer, that's all. If you don't have this wall of concepts, if your mind is empty and open, it will assimilate much more quickly. But if it's full of concepts, it will just cook more slowly. It's just like this. And all of it is the work of consciousness, actually. There's no individual deciding anything. The individual comes after. The individual is an expression of the consciousness. It is not the possessor of consciousness. So ultimately, consciousness is responsible for the mighty play and all the beings that appear in it. So don't ask this question. I don't think that he's going to be really satisfied with this. What he needs to know is that somehow that this urge for truth is genuine inside himself. Now this urge for truth will bring you to satsang, that is reminding you that for truth there's no distance to travel. As I said before, if you want water and it's not here, you have to go someplace and get it. If I want an apple and it's not here, I've got to go up that tree to get it. But if I want to know who I am, what's the distance I must go? You see? So it points you already, but you are that. But what blocks your recognition intuitively of your sense of self is because you're holding on to so many concepts about who you are that make you feel that you are an object moving in space and time to reach the timeless. And that is an impossible task. If you somehow can grasp that you are not the names and forms, though they appear in you, and it's part of your play, but you are subtler than that, and that all these sensations, all this world of senses, mind, thought, everything must report to you because you are the ultimate perceiver of them, and that in themselves they don't have any independent existence. So this entire soup of sensations we call existence is appearing to you. Now you must find out who you are. Can you also be an appearance? Who can you be? If this question bites you, then you won't need to be bitten by anything else. Because this bite will take you home. So, I don't know, he's reading many books, I think, this person. I think he's reading too much and picking up too many concepts, and they're bringing in doubt. And these concepts cannot satisfy the hungry heart. The heart that is yearning for the beloved or yearning for truth, for liberation, won't be satisfied with all these books and concepts. When it is hungry like this, satsang it will satisfy it. It will come and it will discover what it needs to discover. But if it just wants to enjoy reading menus, it can do this. You can go to the restaurant and read all the menus you want. But until you sit down and eat, you cannot talk about the food. No? So don't read anymore. Follow the advice. If he feels some attraction for what I'm speaking, then he must just focus on that and continue applying that to himself, because I am not speaking here and drifting off into philosophical discussions. Everything is about you. Everything is pointed directly back to you. And if there's an earnestness in your seeking, it won't take you very long to realize the truth.